If you knew what was happening, it wouldn't be so bad, but we don't.
I haven't slept since Saturday.
It's not going to happen now.
It is deeply frustrating for these passengers, once again at the mercy of events almost 1,000 miles to the north. And that sense of helplessness is shared by those within the aviation industry. They're growing increasingly impatient with the official advice, which they believe is overly cautious.
There is no ash in the skies over London, representing a risk to flying today, and yet London airports were closed this morning. So we've seen a gross overreaction to a risk that can be managed and is successfully managed in every other part of the world.
Air traffic agencies across Europe rely on the UK Met Office to track the Icelandic ash cloud. It's then down to those individual countries to decide whether to introduce flight bans. The National Air Traffic Service here say they don't take that decision lightly.
The best minds in the industry have been working now for 4 weeks to try and establish if there's a finite level of ash concentration that these aircraft engines can maintain. As long as safety is our number one priority, we will not move from the current arrangements provided to us from the Civil Aviation Authority.
The airline companies say extensive testing of aircraft across Europe has so far shown no evidence of damage from the ash cloud.
So you've got to keep these cooling passages open, so you've got to stop the ash blocking them up.
Dr. Colin Brown from the Institution of Mechanical Engineers used to work for the engine manufacturer Rolls-Royce. He believes the airline should be allowed to fly while continuing to conduct tests.
You can fly aircraft with virtually nobody in them, so that you can do tests, you can see what damage the ash is doing to the engines and see whether you could fly a normal flight through that area. We must remember these ash clouds are very, very low density clouds. We're talking about a grain of sand in a bath of water, effectively. It's a very, very low concentration of ash that we're measuring.
Britain's new Transport Secretary says all of the experts are working closely to determine whether the current safety restrictions can be eased.
More data is being collected all the time. The aircraft engine manufacturers are constantly reviewing the data, and there is work to possibly be able to raise the threshold still further.
And with predictions these scenes could be repeated on a regular basis for many months to come, that safety review can't come quickly enough for airline companies who've already lost many millions of pounds. Mark White, Sky News.